Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for March 12th to the 18th of 2023. So, our quote for the week says, "It is time to wrap up your old, threadbare stories about yourself, about your history, and your potential, so that your inner practical mystic can rise, thrive, and prosper." This is what I'm calling in for Saturn in Pisces. And hopefully by the time this gets posted, the replay will be ready as well. So I'll be linking that in the blog along with some other articles from trusted astrologers to help you do your deep dive into preparation for the next 2.5 years. We're also coming up on our second week of 4-week class in soul contracts with me and Nasa Bawa. It is rich and deep, and also totally recorded with a whole bunch of tools and things that you can do at your own pace. So if you want to sign up, I think that link is still live, and we'd love to have you. Now, this week is very personal. Sun, Mercury, and Neptune are all together in Pisces, a little bit further down the road than Saturn, but we can go ahead and claim that as an outside energy of stability and claiming that new reality, a new vision for your reality. But on a personal level, we're doing some healing and integration and a personal reset for what works for you, the individual. Basically, we're incubating our personal stories for the next year. And this is where we get to activate our imagination and dream up that next level for ourselves. The challenge is happening with Mars and Gemini. So Gemini and Pisces process differently. One is mental processing, one is emotional processing. One is about your ideas and thinking. The other one's about your imagination and your feelings. It's challenging to get those to line up. Very often, our head and our heart will give us two very different solutions to the same problem. In this case, Mars coming out of its lengthy stay in Gemini, resetting our consciousness around our identity and purpose, is where the friction is happening. So we have to be mindful that these new ideas or new perceptions or conceptions of self, your individual identity and purpose, has been renewed. And now we want you to use your imagination to think outside the box to express yourself at these higher levels. So there's some certain things that are going to have to go and certain things that are going to have to grow in order for you to really step up into your next level. Venus is busy stirring things up this week as well. So like I said, everything is very personal. So let's dive into our first activation for the week. Falls on Tuesday, the 14th, when Mars squares off with Neptune first, okay? This is the first hit. Remember, we're going to look at these individually, but then we're going to take them into consideration all together because it is a little bit of a party going on. So while Mars is squaring off with Neptune, it's probably in a tough angle to Sun and Mercury too. So this can be an annoying energy, to say the least. Basically, you may be confronted with challenges which are the direct result of earlier choices. These are the kind of choices that you eventually realize were wrong and hoped the consequences would somehow pass you by. Not. You may feel very discouraged, possibly depressed, and be filled with fear and doubt. The key to getting through this energy is to take a step back, reflect on your choices and what led you to this point, and then, as objectively as possible, evaluate what went wrong. The tendency with this energy is to want to give up completely on the path you have chosen when all that is probably necessary is a little tweaking. Try to identify the aspect that is causing the conflict. If you don't feel that you can be objective enough or that you struggle with identifying this aspect, try to enlist 2 or more people to give you their opinion and then follow your gut instinct on the direction to take from there. The other temptation with this energy is to be deceptive, either to yourself or others. Either way, don't give in. It will only come back to bite you harder later. Your physical energy is likely to be low as well. Do not force yourself to do anything that you are truly not feeling right now. Instead, meditate on what action might be necessary when your energy returns. Be still. Avoid confrontations with others, as it is just the energy pushing you out of comfort zone and into new territory. This is a test of sorts, and the best way to deal with it is to face your fears and clarify your desires. My personal 2 cents about these two planets, Mars and Neptune, in a difficult angle, is to reflect on what actions have been taken and not worked toward the fulfillment of your dreams, and then start your tweaking there. Now, what's deep about these two is because of Mars retrograde, it's connecting 4 times over with Neptune in Pisces. Mars moving through Sag or Gemini is going to challenge Neptune. And it happened on January 11th, October 12th, November 9th, all in 2022, and this final hit, 3/14 in 2023. So I've put some little notes here that you can check in with the energetic overview for 2022 or the special alignments of 2022 to dig into where this all started, because it started last year. It's just finishing this year. Either way, Gemini and Sag is your consciousness, your thinking, your belief systems, getting mixed up with your perceptions and feelings and emotions. And we need to work through our processes. This is the processor signs. So anything that got put on the back burner could trip you up if you haven't fully processed and integrated what you were learning or thinking or trying to express at the time. Now, the next day, Wednesday the 15th, Sun is going to conjunct Neptune. Now, this, of course, is annual. And for Neptune, spending 14 years in the sign of Pisces, that means we get 14 chances to reset this part of ourselves. This transit tends to make you very sensitive to others, whether it is rational or not. If you are one of those people who tends to put everyone else's needs before your own, watch out, because this makes that urge even stronger. Be aware of 2 things. 1, most times people who focus so much on others to the exclusion of their own needs is because there is something about their own life that they do not want to face. And 2, you could get lost in your so-called altruism to the point where you lose touch with reality. This energy is best used alone to meditate and contemplate your own world, unless you can be completely detached in your charity work. I use this little motivation to decide, is your life so perfect and abundant that you can afford to spend so much time and energy on another's life? If so, great, go for it. Support others all day. If not, however, then charity begins at home, and you might want to start that work on yourself. So again, I think Sun conjuncting Neptune has to do with us cultivating a new vision for the year, basically. What's being illuminated at this moment around our consciousness and belief systems? Where is the support from our invisible team? How is the imagination doing? What's lighting up there? Same day, on Wednesday, March 15th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, which would be 3:30 p.m. Pacific on the West Coast, we're having the Venus Circle. Our subject is Taurus, heart chakra, reclamation. Our task is going to be serving the non-rational, and our archetype is the warrior. So we're going to be the peaceful warrior that is rooted in the heart. And we have a very special guest, Carmen Harris of freeformliberation.com, joining us to give us her insights and share some of her tools and gifts. We are on the reclamation side of the Venus Circle. If you don't know about my circles, the Venus Circle, we get together around the Venus cycle, which is 18 months, 9 months of release work, 9 months of reclamation. We are officially winding down on the reclamation side for those of you who would love to get in on the next cycle. It starts in June, July. We'll have an open house, and there'll be a brand new workbook that will guide you through the cycle. And we have been doing this together since '07. It's only $25 a month. It includes the replay and all the custom tools, your personal activations, how Venus is touching your chart. All pretty juicy tools to navigate now with. It is good for trackers. It's good for people who like to journal and who are working on their finances and relationships, their values and priorities, which is Venus's domain. So we do kind of track that. And it's a good way to stay in alignment with your individual values and priorities. The Soul Sisters Circle, which is at the bottom of the blog with Whale for the month of March, is where we get into the body. We have yoga by Nasa Bawa, and we are reconnecting with our instincts and using the animal totems to go in a little deeper and to go in a different way. So depending on what kind of energetic support you need, they're both $25 a month. That includes all the goodies and the live event. And so join us. You can drop in or subscribe to the Venus Circle this week. The next day, Thursday the 16th, is actually NASA's circle, Ancestor Healing Circle. I'm a member as well. She is hosting a circle Thursday, March 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. Pacific. This week is going to be a special money pouring ritual, which is something Yeye Luisa Tish taught us. And we are being encouraged to do it in other circles with other people. Where two or more gather, we can increase this abundance and the ancestral healing as well. So she has a subscription there. I believe it's $30 a month to drop in. So join us there. Now the 16th is pretty busy. Here's where several of our activations kick in. So first up, Mercury conjunct Neptune. So we've already had the sun, which is more about your identity and personality and the energy that you express out in the world. Mercury is how you think, the words you choose, and the ways that you express yourself. Again, it's being channeled through Neptune. We can go really deep with the imagination right now. This is a mixed blessing, but definitely an initiation either way. It can be miraculous for creativity, art, or exploration. I like this one for a personal conversation with God, your higher self, your soul self. As with any initiation, a completion must come first. And in this case with Mercury, it's time to expand your thinking and go deeper in some kind of way. Invite your ancestors, orishas, angels, and animal guides to answer your questions and support and protect you at this time. Communing with them is much more supported than communing with the humans around you. So if you need to think about the mundane or confront someone about something which requires complete honesty from both parties, then things can get a little hazy and confused thanks to Neptune here. There's always a veil to contend with when dealing with Neptune, but you have to know which side of it that you are on so that you're in alignment with the nature around you. 3D versus 5D. Either way, this energy tends to color reality, misleading some to think that they're being perfectly clear in their communication or what they're trying to express, while others are completely lost. It's better to say nothing rather than be completely misunderstood. Deep breath. So this is an initiation to a new level of communication, and at the same time, it's a beautiful periodic annual reset with your spirit and with your spirit guides. Mercury, Hermes, is the messenger, the guide. So we want to check in there and go deeper, again, with spirit, with our spiritual practices that we're redreaming at this moment. So now here comes the Sun square Mars. This is a challenge about your energy and how to direct it properly. You started something about 6 months ago that now challenges who you are and what you want. So adjustments must be made. It's not really a good, bad thing, just a test to get out of your comfort zone and into new territory. You are supported to get your true desires congruent with what and who you present to the world. As you develop that, often the first things that come up are what's not working. It may seem as if the universe and a couple of humans thrown in for good measure will be pointing out all your weaknesses, shortcomings, lack of preparation, and mistakes that you've made. Be careful not to take things personal, but keep in mind that if it is being brought into your awareness, that you can learn from it. Keep self-preservation in mind and be compassionate with others struggling with their own identity issues at this time. This is energy that needs a positive physical outlet too. If you can channel it through physical exercise or an activity that you love, then you may find that the moving meditation opens you up to better choices and more authentic decisions, while denial and suppression only lead to more disappointment, illness, or accidents. Deep breath. So Sun squaring Mars, Mars squaring Neptune, all connected. Deep breath. Now, here's a juicy one. Venus at 29 degrees Aries, squaring off with Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. This is our fundamentals between ourselves, the individual, and the roles and responsibilities that we take on. So there's some adjustment and growth that needs to happen here. So this activation brings intensity and it challenges you to grow out of comfort zone into new territory where your relationships and finances are concerned. It creates very intense emotional responses and experiences with others that tend to trigger insecurities or hidden fears in one or both of you. Stability is not part of the equation at the moment, so prepare for inevitable change. You've probably already felt it coming, the shift in your relationship or financial situation. Well, it's here now, so you can be proactive on your own behalf, or you can suffer the consequences of postponing the inevitable. Some of you may have heard me say before, pay now or pay double later. That applies to this transit too. The natural reaction may be to try to hold on to the job or relationship, but try not to give in to that temptation. Pluto intensifies everything, and the more you resist the necessary purification and change that Pluto brings, the more painful it usually is. It is better to clarify your values and priorities and choose change rather than have it forced upon you. Either way, once the dust settles, you should be better off because things either change for the better or they go away altogether, making room for something new and more in alignment with your values and priorities of now. Deep breath. Same day Thursday, Mercury squares Mars. Okay? First the sun, now Mercury. Back-to-back tag team. They're often together like this. This activation can be a tough one for some. If your beliefs are out of alignment with your actions and choices, if you are not self-aware or you act out unconsciously, being selfish or childish, then watch out because squares test you to grow and change in some way. Often this also means that you are suppressing your own nature in some way, which is never really a good idea. When you suppress your soul, it can make your human more sensitive and defensive, taking things personally as a threat or challenge. If you catch yourself feeling irritable for no apparent reason this week, try to step back and gain some perspective before responding to either your own thoughts or another person's words. Mercury and Mars getting together in this challenging way can provoke debates and in some people actual fights, so be careful. The deeper aspect of this activation is that some part of you wants to express, perhaps in a new way, and your monkey mind has got you all off track. Mars demands that you know who you are and what you want, and is the sacred masculine part of you, which is supposed to hold good boundaries, protect you, and negotiate on your behalf in the world. If you know something that you are not acting on, this can be frustrating. If you are acting in ways that are not allowing you to think things through, this too can cause accidents, problems, and delays. It is best to pull inward until you are clear. Also keep in mind that you may not be out of alignment in the above ways, but those around you may be, and will likely have no context for what they are feeling, and therefore become indiscriminate with their own choices and actions. Self-preservation is not selfish, but essential at this time. Deep breath. Don't get baited into non-essential arguments and discussions that are going nowhere. Same day. Remember I said Venus was at 29 degrees Aries. Now she slips into Taurus until April 10th. This is her home sign, bringing our attention to the body, pleasure, sensuality, the experience of being in a body, and all the possibilities inherent in that. It draws our attention to Mother Earth and the garden, rare blue gem that she is, and how much we need to value that as sacred and precious. It is also time to double down on clarifying your own values and priorities in real time. When she is in Libra, she is equally powerful, but she is also more focused on the essence or invisible link of kinship that we share with all life. It is an idea or an ideal. When she is in Taurus, it is more the reality that we are experiencing in our bodies. Where is the feast or famine in your life in general? Let's address any famines or neglect of essential parts of our nature, which is finding the body to be a pleasurable experience versus one of pain, fear, or frustration. It's time to cultivate your life like a garden, where you plant a diverse number of plants that produce food and flowers, sustenance and beauty. That would be the substance that you take into your body, as well as the beauty that you radiate outward from your own heart center. This is a great time to reconnect with what gives you a sense of belonging and fulfillment, nourishment and pleasure. Reset. And a lot of good juju is going on between Taurus energy and Pisces energy. Very big. We talked about that on the Saturn and Pisces call, how it's going to link up with the North Node on April 14th, which helps us to call in this new life path and direction that connects us to Mother Earth, keeps us provided for with food, sex, and money, the basic essentials that we need to function in this society, in this culture. It's deep, y'all. We can dream bigger and we can reallocate our resources and redefine our terms and be living a lot better life. No matter what it looks like in the social collective realms, we can shift how we're doing things as individuals. And like I said, this week, Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, personal planets, honey. It's all about you this week. Then on the 17th, Friday, I think we'll be doing another live with NASA for Dear Ancestors. Can you help me with this energy? But meantime, we have Mercury conjuncting Sun. This is part of its cycle, initiating a new cycle for all of us. This energy will compel you to express yourself on many levels. Communication will be a focus. Just make sure that it is reciprocated. What I mean is two-way communication and an exchange of ideas. As you initiate this new cycle of self-expression, you will have access to some powerful energy that can and probably will help you make a difference or an impression on others if you need to. This is a good time to travel if possible. However, if not physically, then mentally through visualization or within your own area locally. Because if you explore a new direction, you are more likely to discover something new. This energy opens you up to a download of more information than usual, so pay attention. If you are solid and organized, you may even gain some much-deserved recognition from others that you have earned through your individual efforts. Deep breath. So again, Mercury and Sun coming together in an initiation. We are, like I said, planning to express in completely new ways. There's also all this support for the artists, for playing with new mediums of expression and doing things that may seem counterintuitive or like you weren't really interested in those things before, but now you want to open up to the creative. Same day, Friday the 17th, Venus, now in Taurus, sextile Saturn in Pisces. Like I said, it gets juicy. This energy has to do with your obligations within the context of your relationships. They are not difficult obligations in this case, but more emphasis is placed on really loving to serve those that you care about. It is also what I call the keep it real energy regarding relationships and finances. This activation prompts you to clarify what you are building, stabilizing, and fortifying in your relationships and finances especially. I am a total advocate of renegotiating terms as you go along because you evolve, the situation and support around you evolves, and your needs change. So often we have to remind those closest to us. It's really hard to grow to the next level when each person is not clear on their ever-evolving roles and responsibilities. Of course, this starts with you knowing what you do or do not want and what you are or are not willing to compromise about. And you really need to get clear about what you want to create and make real, okay? Venus is where we focus our values and priorities. Saturn's helping us bring something into form. Again, with the artistic and creative possibilities, it's also our values and where we focus our attention and our resources. In a sextile is an opportunity to gain some traction, to, again, put some things in place that will support and protect us in real time, in real life, on the ground, in your reality, with your purpose. Now, Saturday, the 18th, still kind of busy. Mercury is at 29 degrees Pisces to Pluto's 29 degrees Capricorn. Very powerful meeting before Mercury slips into Aries and starts a whole new ballgame. So Mercury sextile in Pluto is energy that provokes the need to delve deeper into the ideas or information being presented at this time, whether it's personal or professional. You will want to dig deeper, ask the hard questions, and gather insights that are more profound than usual. In your professional public life, you may find yourself doing better on proper pre-planning and due diligence, while in your personal private life, you may find yourself digging a little deeper into your own mental patterns and personal history that have led to now. As you make those connections and begin to grasp these new insights, they will gain traction and you will become more grounded in your own truth and story. We all get excited about those kind of aha moments, and you may find yourself wanting to share them with others who may or may not be ready to hear such deep truths or have the conscious awareness to even process them. So remember to use some discernment around who and when you share these newfound insights. Deep breath. This is really about digging around on you and your thinking and your consciousness and that ultimate transformation. Now, Pisces to Capricorn, we're still talking about using the imagination to transcend and transform our reality in some kind of way. Same day, moments later, Mercury enters Aries until April 3rd. Mercury moving through Aries tends to make us think more instinctively. This is a mixed blessing. On one hand, you can take a lot of information in and easily sort and sift it based on what your immediate needs are. But on the other hand, it can make you jump the gun without thinking things all the way through because you are reacting instead of responding. Reacting comes from the head and responding comes from the heart. It is best to use this energy to dig into your own ideas and motivations. Why do you want what you want? Why are you thinking the way you think? What is motivating your ideas, thoughts, and concepts? Also, because it is spring, it's time to think about which ideas will best serve your personal needs and professional goals in the coming year. So it is another one of those times where I remind you that this kind of self-centeredness is not based in ego, but is essential to how you make your choices and decisions every day. If you do not look out for your own ideas and/or personal needs, then who will? You can also keep in mind that Libra energy balances out Aries energy. So make sure that your ideas create win-win situations where your needs are met and you are still being of service to others in a meaningful way. Ashe. So power-packed week. Folks moving into new signs, which is going to activate new houses in your chart and wake up and light up new areas of life that we need to address. This is all annual. Sun, Mercury, even Venus runs pretty close to those two. So we get this annual infusion in Pisces where we get to process and integrate certain things and hopefully dream up a new vision to act on in Aries. So if you're looking for any more support, the links to Whale this month are here. Whale medicine is so juicy. And the whole theme was about returning to home, and home being your essential nature and your true self. And we want to find ways to allow that to shine through. So I hope you will join us for some of these live events this week. Reach out when you need to. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off. Have a fantastic week.